Heard of the sometimes strange dares that our male counterparts give each other? Well, you know, like reversing backwards to Cape Town. It's for that very reason that First for Women insurance only cover women. Statistically, women take fewer risks and make more careful decisions than men, according to the First for Women insurance. Was this the basis for the latest ad campaign? Before we hear from the General Manager for First for Women, Liesl Viljoen, here's the latest ad.
Dude, what are you doing?
Reversing. I'm the king of reverse.
Really?
I could reverse from here to Cape Town if I wanted to.
$50 says you can't.
Guys, wake up, wake up! Cape Town! No way, guys! Man, I love you guys!
Are you sure no men were harmed in this making of this commercial, Liesl?
I can assure that no men were harmed in the making of this.
Now, what's quite interesting is historically women...
Not the ego's bruised.
I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Historically, women were always viewed as the bad drivers, and you guys are kind of turning the tables.
Yeah, no.
Thank you for that, first of all, and tell me, what has the been response, you know, on these campaigns?
Absolutely, this campaign's been received so well. I mean,
both from males and females.
And that's quite remarkable this time around, you know, because normally we have a few men complaining about, you know, sexist advertising, but this time around it was really received well by women. And let's be honest, women really enjoyed this a little bit more because they could relate, you know, to that typical male behavior. So yes, Jackie, to answer your question, it's really, that was the angle for this campaign. Women are better insurance risks, and I'm sure you can agree that women, when they're on the road, they make more careful decisions, they take fewer risks. Women frown upon something like road rage, and they usually stick to the speed limit. So yes, that was the angle. And then First Woman is a brand where we really have tongue-in-cheek humor, and we can celebrate that, enjoy that, and showcase it. And yes, and that's our end product. I must say we had loads of fun.
Do you turn down men if they want to come and advertise, get their insurance through your company?
You know what, First Woman is about women, so we...
But do you turn them down?
Not really, but it's really, we're not going to cater for their needs. First Woman is around the female's need when it comes to insurance. So if you want to add your son or your husband to your policy, we'll do it.
Right, okay.
But in principle, it's aimed at women.
Where was the concept born? And how did that start? Give us a bit of history.
First for Women was born in June 2003, and Telesure, the mother company, just saw more and more that women are starting to make financial decisions when it comes to insurance. And we all know that traditionally insurance was sold and bought by our male counterparts. And just if you look at the risk profile of the women pool, and the fact that more women came forward to buy insurance, it just made sense, that we speak to women specifically and offer them a product that specifically speaks to their needs.
Early days with the first campaigns, it was quite traditional, and you've now obviously gone for something a bit more controversial. And why the transition?
Because I think women can relate to that typical behavior of men, and because we speak to women, we can celebrate that and we can showcase it and really win the hearts of women, because we all can relate to that.
As long as the men can also laugh at themselves.
Oh, this is great. This is just too funny. You can't stop laughing. But I think you made a very brave and correct decision when you segmented your market and you pretty much put your colours to the mast. Yes. We're about women, we're for women, and there's enough of a market, there's enough women drivers. Now, obviously when you look at the market that's available to you, how much of it of the women of South Africa do you have?
Well, we're very, very proud to say that we have 80,000 clients, you know, with First for Women. And if you consider that there are 2.5 million insurance buying public in South Africa, I think that is quite sizable, you know, especially when you regard First Women as a niche offering only to women.
What proportion of the women drivers in South Africa is that?
That's very hard to say. But my guesstimate would be, you know, you can assume that half the population would be female, but not all of them are the financial decision makers. So I think 80,000 on the book is really something remarkable.
I'm very glad you brought that up, about they're not the financial decision makers, and I'm not saying that isn't the case in my home, that it probably, they make the decision. But if my wife chooses to go to First for Women, and she says, well, this is the quote I got, isn't it very likely in that home situation that the husband says, well, let me also check a few others?
Yes,
and if they end up being cheaper than the First for Women quote, they're going to go there anyway. Yes,
but we normally find that it's women that shop around, they do their homework, and then they normally, you know, follow through and influence their decision when it comes to financial decisions.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the case?
Absolutely. I must agree with her.
Yes, absolutely.
Liesl, how different is it to market just for women?
Well, it's so much fun because we can all relate to it. We can really tackle those very subtle differences, and we can tweak our product, our marketing and sales strategies, you know, to speak to women. And I must say it's different, but it's also very, very enjoyable.
So the way that it's an advantage for a woman to have her insurance through you is because of the added value around that? So here's a simple example. When it comes down to price alone, maybe you're not necessarily cheaper than the next guy. What is it that should get my wife interested in coming to you to get her insurance?
Price is definitely one of the indicators. I mean, you can see that women in some cases save up to 40% when insuring with First for Women, but it's not just around the price. We also understand that women don't just focus on one element. We also offer free handbag cover when you take out home contents up to the value of 3,500 Rand. I mean, we know that women, what we keep in our handbags, and we also know what happens, you know, if you have to lose everything there. Yeah. So there's automatic cover when you take out home contents.
Do you think it's time that there's a First for Men?
You really want to be on I'm really going to see if I can sort you out. You really want to be one of our clients.
Just make it all blue and then, you know.
Well, I don't know.
First for Omar, hey? Shall we do that?
No, well, that would be even better. But I'm just wondering.
Take the Mickey out of women driving.